Hello, everyone. It is 11:30 Central, so we will get started. Thank you for tuning in to today's presentation, Kick Off Your Semester with Realityworks Culinary Kits. My name is Kelsey, and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. First, here is your 30-second introduction to Realityworks for those of you who aren't familiar with us. We are an employee-owned company based in Eau Claire, Wisconsin that creates experiential learning tools for teaching job and life skills. We got our start over 20 years ago when former NASA engineer Rick Germain created the first RealCare baby infant simulator, then went on to found the company that is now Realityworks. Today, our training tools combine curriculum with hands-on learning tools, student activities, and assessments. Baby is still around, but now you can look to us for tools like our bovine birthing and ultrasound simulator, virtual reality welding simulator, wearable geriatric sensitivity suits, and if you have some time, we encourage you to check out our website and see it all. Presenting today, we have Denise Dubois, who is the Senior Family and Consumer Sciences Product Manager here at Realityworks and has been with us for over 15 years. She is a frequent presenter, trainer, and blogger for all things related to facts, health science, and human services. Denise has experience teaching in Wisconsin and Minnesota and has over 20 years of education marketing experience and professional development. She is also the co-chair for the Alliance for Family and Consumer Sciences and on the Executive Council National Consortium for Health Science Education. Before we get started, I want to cover a couple things. First, today's presentation is being recorded and all attendees will receive a link containing the recording, as well as a copy of the PowerPoint slides and free resources. For those of you attending live today, you will also receive a certificate of completion for attending today's presentation. Keep an eye on your email. You will receive that email within 24 hours after the presentation, and we will have time at the end for Q&A, so feel free to type your questions in the chat or Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Denise.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our session today, everyone. We hope today that we were going to be covering a little bit about many of our culinary kits, and we're going to highlight what's in each one, and we are also going to choose one of the activities in the curricula to share with you, and you'll be able to access that activity and try it with your own program. And we think these kits are a wonderful asset to have, because whether you are a ProStart or ServSafe school, or even whether you use any type of textbook or your own teacher-created materials, these are great supplemental kits, and you can just add more activities and hands-on labs to what you're already teaching. So the very first kit that we're going to kick off today is our knife skills kit.
Let's start by taking a closer look at our knife skills kit. This kit is basically an open and go introductory unit on basic knife skills for any culinary program. It includes a variety of interactive hands-on materials, such as 6 cutting boards featuring inch measurements and scale lines. You get 6 finger guards. You get 6 rulers featuring Mercer rules. You get 6 sets of 3D knife cut models for your students to reference. You get modeling clay that you can use to practice those knife cuts. And you also get 2 posters, one addressing common knife cuts, and a second poster that illustrates measurements and conversions. Now, the cool part about this kit, like all of our other culinary kits, is that it also includes lessons, student activities, and assessments that involve the hands-on materials we just went over. For instance, in lesson 3 of the culinary knife skills curriculum, students will use modeling clay or food items like carrots and potatoes to practice a variety of knife cuts like round cuts, dicing, julienne, and 7 others. And you get worksheets that your students can use to define each cut, then provide at least 5 or 6 examples of each activity in a hands-on lab. Let's start by taking a close.
Sorry about that. Alrighty, so you can see that these are the 3 lessons that are included with that kit. And we start out with safe handling and storage, and we move on to the anatomy of knives, and then we get into the knife cuts lab itself. And that's where your students will learn to do the hands-on and perform several different basic knife cuts. So here are some of the primary lesson activity that your students will do as part of this curriculum. And you can see there's some of these could be standalone things. Some of these could be, you could pick and choose. We do build in a little bit of a short quiz at the end, but again, it's just giving you more things that you can do when you're going to do either a series of lessons or an individual lesson all about knife skills in your culinary program. And the first free activity we would like to provide from our knife skills curriculum is available at the link that you see on the screen. It is found in lesson 2, Anatomy of Knives. And to do this activity, you could show the Anatomy of Knives slide presentation, and then you would have your students complete the knife chart as you share the information. And then certainly if you're wanted to do this remote, you could do this as a research assignment. And then of course, answer keys are provided, but it just is a great little activity to get your students familiar with anatomy of knives and all the different types of knives. Now, the second kit we would like to share today is our food safety kit. And it covers basic food safety and handling techniques used in culinary occupations and also at home. The curriculum is going to integrate hands-on activities and components for up to 6 small groups to be working on those activities simultaneously. And on the screen in front of you here is a list of the components that you would receive in the kit. And then classroom management is also something that we always strive to make easier with our products. So you'll notice that many of the things that you'd use, there are multiple, so that small groups or small groups in kitchen labs can be doing all of those activities at the same time. So here are the curriculum highlights. And if you taught all of it, the teaching time would be approximately 8 to 10 hours total. And at the link that we've provided, there is a sample lesson. And in fact, if you go out to the culinary part of our product portion of our website at realityworks.com, there are some sample lessons for each of the kits that I'm sharing today on each of the product pages. And we like to call that to your attention because anything that you can find in those links, you could certainly try with your own programs. So here are just a few of the activities found in the curriculum to help engage students. For the glow germ gel and UV lights, that's a really fun way to show students how to properly wash your hands. And after applying that gel and following the procedures online, the UV lights will illuminate areas on the hands that were not properly cleaned. And the lessons integrate important language arts skills and also several research projects as well. And then the highlight of the kit is a foodborne illness outbreak simulation. And your students are going to be put into a scenario where they will take on the role of a county health inspector or official who is tasked with discovering the source and the pathogen causing this local outbreak at a large-scale event. So just like a detective, your students are going to trace the clues and discover the answer. So that's always a very favorite activity from that kit. The bacteria growing lab has students using yeast in 3 different environments to see which one makes bacteria grow the fastest and the implications it has for food safety. So students put all of their new skills to work in a cooking lab while they make chicken fried rice as well. And then there's a trivia game focusing on question categories such as clean, separate, cook, chill, and bonus questions. Something like that could be turned into a large class activity or even used in small groups. But there are assessments built into the activities in this kit, and your answer keys will always be provided to save you time. So this is one activity that we would like to highlight from our food safety kit, and it can easily be adapted to in-class remote learning for your program. So first of all, you would choose a pathogen, and then you have your students research and collect information on the organizer provided here. And then your student would prepare a 5-minute presentation. There's a rubric included that for help grading that presentation. But if you had each student do a different pathogen, it would expose them to a wide variety of information and knowledge all about different foodborne illness, potential pathogens that can cause outbreaks. So again, a very engaging and fun activity. So the third kit that we would like to highlight today is our kitchen safety kit.
Now let's take a look at our kitchen safety kit, which offers a fun introduction to basic kitchen safety concepts in an easy to use 1-week unit. This activity kit includes a variety of interactive hands-on learning items. For instance, you get trivia cards, you get 6 sets of posters that illustrate tips for preventing kitchen hazards. You also get glow germ oil and powder. You get a powder brush, 6 sets of UV lights with batteries, 6 finger guards for practicing knife cuts, and then you get a variety of items that you can use to set up a hazardous kitchen, such as caution tape, a faux spill, a plastic rodent plus rodent droppings. And the great part about this kit is that it includes a variety of lessons, student activities, and assessment, but the curriculum actually culminates in a hazardous kitchen activity where you can use the items in the kit to tape off part of your kitchen with caution tape and then set up a fake kitchen hazard using the mouse, using the fake spill, using the mouse droppings, etc. And you can have your students walk through the hazardous kitchen that you've set up, identify each of the hazards, and then explain how they might mitigate them or prevent them in the future. Now let's take a
So here are the curriculum highlights for that particular kit. And as you can see, there are 5 lessons. We have a basic introduction, and then it moves on to sanitation, a little bit of our knife safety, and then we've got prevention of burns, falls, electrical and chemical hazards, and then it culminates with that kitchen safety, hazardous kitchen assessment. And that was something that Emily just referred to. So you can see it makes a really nice and easy to implement 1-week unit all about kitchen safety topics. Now, here's a little bit deeper dive into each of the lessons and the activities that go along with each of those lessons. You can pick and choose, you can do them all, but we've tried to make it very user-friendly for you to identify the individual kit components that are in the kit and how you would use each of those components for all of the, the different lab activities that the kit has to offer. So here's an activity that we would like to highlight from our kitchen safety kit. And this gives a very thorough overview of these 4 types of safety hazards, meaning burns, falls, electrical, and chemical hazards. So for doing this, you would share, we provide you with the lecture notes and a slide presentation. If this is something that you would like to deploy in a remote way, you could certainly post this to your LMS system, share it with students. And then there are there's 4 pages of listening guides where you would identify the causes and prevention strategies for each of these different types of hazards. The 4th kit in our culinary toolbox today is our food truck design kit, which is one of our most popular kits. And we know that food trucks have seen exponential growth since the onset of COVID in 2020. It was one of the few areas in culinary that really had a lot of growth. And our food truck design kit will provide hands-on design experience for students tasked with building a food truck business as an entrepreneur. So this interactive tools allows for optimal student interaction while planning all aspects of a food truck business. So it includes enough hands-on activities and lesson plans to teach, if you wanted to, a 3-week unit all about food truck entrepreneurship. It can supplement any textbook or curriculum already in use. So again, it works well with many different things, but the curriculum will address things such as marketing, budgeting, menu development, and other essential topics. And then students are going to be learn to be entrepreneurs. They're going to name their truck. They're going to come up with the logo, and they're going to lay out the interior of their food truck business. But the curriculum certainly takes them through all of the different things from marketing and budgeting and menu development, and that includes food costing, certainly interior design of that food truck, and then putting together a complete business plan. And this is a very robust curriculum with 19 hours of content if you did everything in it. And here's a breakdown of each lesson and the activities included with each part of it. Some of the favorites include certainly designing the food truck name and logo. Students love to put those art skills to work, coming up with a logo. And then again, coming up with the menu of food items in their food truck that go along and tie in with the logo. And then they use those scale tiles and the design board to lay out the interior of their very own food truck business. So it just makes it very tactile and hands-on. This activity is one that we would like to share from the kit. And you can access it at the link there, but this is where they are going to go ahead and design their logo and put it onto the actual food truck. And then they're going to work on their menu that goes along and ties it all together. But again, they get to be very creative and be that entrepreneur. Now, the fifth kit in our culinary toolbox is a brand new one on food science and nutrition.
Finally, let's take a look at our food science and nutrition lab kit. We created this kit to make it easier for you to offer engaging hands-on lab activities focused on food science and nutrition concepts. Like all of our other culinary education kits, this kit includes a variety of interactive learning materials, including student workbooks, scenario cards focused on food production, 6 set of posters that address reading a food label, as well as the essential nutrients. You also get a variety of materials that your students can use to create lab activities, such as 12 sets of beakers, 12 sets of funnels, and 12 sets of pipettes. You also get popsicle sticks, cheesecloth, glow germ gel, a brush, and of course, lessons, activities, and assessments that incorporate all of these items. For instance, in lesson 7 of our food science curriculum, you'll follow an introduction of the concept of DNA by having students use these materials to extract the DNA of a strawberry and then observe what happens throughout the process.
So here are the curriculum highlights from this particular kit. And we start off with career planning and some career exploration because many students may not be aware of the breadth of career opportunities in food science and nutrition. So we did have one lesson on that. And then we get into basic food safety. We introduce some basic nutrition concepts and get into nutrition therapy. And then very interesting things on food technology that may be new to your students. Then we get into dietetics and nutrition management, food science kind of labs, and then we end up with that food biology and chemistry. Here is a little bit deeper dive by lesson. We have 7 lessons, and each of the lessons has 2 different lab activities or interactive ways to engage on that particular topic. And we are very clear in our lesson plans where we identify the materials you're going to need to do each of the activities, whether it be items found in the kit or if there are some things that need to be teacher supplied. But you can see there are many, many different things that your students can do depending on the time you can devote to the topic. Maybe you would be able to do all 7 lessons, 2 of the activities that we provide, or you could choose even one standalone activity from each of the lessons if you have less time. But just really, really exciting and fun ways to engage your students all in food science and nutrition. And this is an activity we would like to share from our food science and nutrition lab kit called Breaking News. And students will pair up and they're going to search out a GMO, yes. And then they're going to identify a popular food containing a specific GMO. And then they're going to create and they're going to deliver like a breaking news segment presenting their research. And students love to kind of, be on the news and kind of do that type of thing. So if each of your pairs of students does a short breaking news segment, this is an activity that could go over several different class periods, but then you can see we've provided you with a rubric as well. So it makes grading a project or an activity like this very, very easy. The next tool in our toolkit that we would like to highlight with you today is our sports nutrition lab kit. And in the lab kit, you get 2 different posters all about nutrients and reading food labels. You will get a 2-pound body fat model. There are some skin fold calipers and analyzers and all sorts of different body mass index tape measures. All of it comes in a very easy to store storage box with a spiral bound curriculum that are going to be using all of these different things as they relate to sports nutrition. So here are the curriculum highlights for this kit. Certainly starts out with nutrients, and then you go into how you use nutrition to enhance sports performance. Then you get into some of the labs where you're looking at body weight, body composition, and body fat. Food labels is a really important lesson and how that information can help in sports performance. Then we get into safe methods for weight loss and weight gain, if that's something that the teachers wish to cover. There's a lesson on supplements and also substance abuse. So lots and lots of good information all about sports nutrition. This is a deeper dive into the lessons and the activities per lesson. And you can see that in the curriculum, we've got the topic, and then we've got the actual projects, and then wherever possible, we identify all of the kit components that you would use to do each particular activity in the lesson. This is one activity we would like to share from the kit, and it's called Balance Your Plate. And you can use an activity like this when you're teaching about nutrients. So in this particular activity, you're going to create a balanced eating plan that follows the following criteria. And you lay out these 4 different bulleted points that your students need to keep in mind as they create this balanced eating plan. And then at the link provided, you can print this out, and then they're going to put together a breakfast, lunch, dinner with some snacks, but they have to meet these 4 different criteria. So a brand new kit in our tool box that focuses all on culinary things is our Farm to Fork Lab Kit, and it traces students through the 5 steps getting food from farm to table. And this particular kit is especially good as a crossover kit for family and consumer science, culinary programs, or even egg classrooms. So we're going to hear a little bit from our curriculum writer from this particular kit and how she uses it.
My name is Caitlin Sibley. Just wanted to say how much I enjoyed working on the curriculum for the Farm to Fork Lab Kit. I really enjoyed working on it, and I have since used it in 2 classes, and I really enjoyed that as well. My students' favorite aspect so far seems to be the insects, being able to touch and feel those. And quite honestly, that was my favorite part of the curriculum, to write as well. Like many of the Realityworks things, it's awesome that they're able to see something that they can't, in class in real life, but be able to see a real model. The kit is great. It has everything that you need. It's really, you can grab this box and know it has what you need in it, except for you might need to make a few copies. But as far as supplies goes, everything that you need is there. My favorite is the working with these scenario cards, which is to show you real quick. Again, my students' favorite is being able to really touch those insects and learn about those. So they're really fascinated with, how the wings are shaped like, how they should be in real life. So we've really enjoyed those. I've enjoyed these scenario cards because it gets them talking to each other, sharing ideas, and working on those soft skills all while learning. I think the whole kit does a really good job of connecting, like the kit says, farm to fork, connecting agriculture all the way to cooking in a restaurant. So it's just a really great kit for an agriculture teacher or a family consumer sciences teacher. It can be used in a lot of different classes in a lot of different ways, which is why I think this kit is really awesome.
So here are the Farm to Fork Lab Kit contents, and you can see there's many different things from. She talked about those oversized insects. Those are used in a lesson where it talks about the impact that field pests can have on food production in the field. So students do get that oversized bugs to look at, to touch and feel, the gross factor, but they also learn the impact that something like that can have on food production. You can see there's agar powder, and there's Petri dishes, cotton swabs, all sorts of different lab things that you can use. And she also did touch on the fact that we integrate soft skills into this through the use of those scenario cards. Here's a little bit closer look at the curriculum highlights. There are 5 different lessons, so you could easily do a 1-week unit, teaching a different lesson each day for a week. And each of the lessons is about a different step in the farm to table process. Here's a little bit closer look at each of the lesson activities, the topics and the resources from the kit that you would use for that activity. And again, we've tried to make it very, very easy for this to be a plug and play thing, where if you wanted to just choose a standalone lesson, any one of these topics could be a standalone lesson, but of course they work great together for a 5-lesson week unit, all on farm to table. So here is one of the activities we wanted to share from the kit. And these are 2 different scenarios that you can use to challenge your students. So you could go ahead and put this up on a document projector. You could take a picture and share it with your students. But basically, you read through the scenario, and then you could use this in a couple different ways. You could use it as a small group activity. You could use it as a think, pair, share. You could use it as a whole group activity at the end of the lesson, or you could even use it to kick off a lesson as an icebreaker. But they read the scenario and they discuss what they would do or how they would handle that. So another very important kit that we like to call your attention to is the Culinary Math Training Kit, because we know in many CTE areas, the math skills that our students come to us with can sometimes be a challenge, and we end up having to review before we can even apply our own area. So this particular math training kit has student workbooks, it has slide presentations, lessons, spiral bound curriculum, but each lesson can be taught 2 different ways. You can do it through a lecture PowerPoint that we give you, or there are also standalone lessons online that you can send students off to online. They can read and learn the content, and then you apply what you've learned in either method in the problems in that culinary math student workbook. So here's some curriculum highlights. You can see the first 3 lessons basically review all of the different math basics, from fractions to conversions, ratios, percentages. And then the last 3 lessons are where your students are going to apply their math knowledge to specific culinary things. And you actually use kitchen measuring tools in the labs and activities. You're going to be doing conversions and through recipes and things like that, food costing. So just a great little kit for a 1 to 2 week unit. All about strengthening your culinary math skills. Here are the curriculum highlights, and you can, again, this highlights the use of the slides in the lecture to teach some of the things, or you can send them off to do the online lessons. It teaches the same objectives and information either way. We are integrating the use of those real tools of the trade. We always have assessment built in, and we have answer keys as well. And then, of course, those student workbooks and all of those application problems are in the workbook, helping your students further refine their math skills. Now, if you go to the link provided here, you'll be able to sign up for 1 free lesson to try with your students. So if you think that this is a program that you think may benefit, go ahead, download this link and get access to that free lesson and try it out. So now we've come to where we are very excited to introduce a brand new kit. It's a food plating and presentation kit from Realityworks. And in this kit, there are 12 lessons. If you did everything, it could vary from anywhere to 16 to 25 teaching hours. But you start out with some very basics of plating. You're learning about the plating toolkits and tools, the importance of the plate and arranging it, and then some of those techniques we mentioned earlier, how to correct mistakes when you see them or avoid them altogether. Portion size becomes important, and then of course plating trends. Then you put that, you apply that in. The last 5 lessons are actually labs that do different food plating and presentation techniques for things like desserts, garnishes, breakfasts, fine dining, appetizers, but you could even expand on that with some additional labs of your own. And when you receive your kit, this is just a very quick snapshot of everything that it includes. It has a 33-piece model food set that we use in a few of the activities that we talk about plating before your students actually get their hands on the consumable real food. It does include 10 chef plating toolkits that students can share, and I believe there's 6 different tools in each toolkit. They get 20 white dinner plates that they're able to use for plating, but those same dinner plates can also be used as dry erase plates. You get 20 dry erase markers and some microfiber cloths. Some of the activities will have your students drawing plating things on the plate prior to them actually plating with real food. We also have some downloadable vocabulary cards to build in some vocabulary mastery. There are some scenario cards that have some plating challenges, but all the curricula have extensive lecture notes and slide presentations, assessment. So just highlighting a few more features of the kit if you're interested. Students will learn plating techniques and then apply them in those labs that we spoke of. You also get that food model set that gives your students practice before using the consumables, but also if you have plates of different sizes in your labs, you could take those food items in the model kit and put them on plates of different sizes. And it's great for talking about portion size and what's appropriate to be used with different plates of different sizes. Those scenario cards present challenges to your students for problem solving, critical thinking, and just make them do, how would you handle this, or what would you do if? Students are going to use some real tools of the trade. They can use all of the toolkits for the plating activities that they do. And then we've built in enough of the items for 20 students to be doing things simultaneously in a class. And then of course there's those printable vocabulary cards, so we can weave in some language arts skills as well. So now what? We have shared a lot of information in our time together today. So here are just a few things that you consider. What culinary content areas do you find yourself running short on resources for? Or what needs just a shot in the arm to maybe have some different things? Do you have any gaps, any noticeable gaps in any of these topic areas that one of these kits could help you fill? And again, start small. You could maybe start with a few of the free activities we shared today. And if you like what you see, maybe get that kit and keep those culinary toolkits growing. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Kelsey, who has some more information to share with you today.
Perfect. Thank you, Denise. So on this PowerPoint slide, we just have a couple things linked. Some more of those free resources. You can download our free unit on culinary arts and food science career exploration at that link. And then we also have a link below that has a bunch of free posters and infographics that you can download as well. And then on the next slide, if you are interested in talking with an account manager, you can scan the QR code on the screen and we will connect you with your local Realityworks account rep, and they can help you start or refresh your own culinary program. So with that being said, we had a couple questions roll in for you, Denise, so we will jump into those now.
All right, sounds good.
So first question is, are these kits good for middle school students?
Yes, a lot of them could be used as it or easily adapted. I think mostly for 8th grade. I don't know that I would go lower than that, but I do think that many of them could be.
Perfect. And can these kits be used for career exploration?
Yes, many of them have a career exploration lesson, and those that don't, you could pick one of the activities and just set it up for career exploration. You might even want to do a couple of different stations that represent different careers, and depending on the kit that you use, you might be able to do 2 or 3 different stations that way.
Okay. And then another question we had is, can any of them be adapted for special education students?
They were not written specifically with that in mind, but probably I would really lean back on classroom teachers for that. You are the experts, you know your students, and you know what will work with them. But I do think that many of them certainly could be. Many of the activities are done in their kitchen labs, and I'm assuming that all of your students are assigned to different lab groups. And you could certainly be having some students mentor some special needs students if need be on some of those activities.
Perfect. And then another question regarding the kits with supplies. Are they able to buy those supplies separately, or do they have to buy a whole new kit?
Most of the kits come with things that are not consumable. However, if there are consumables, depending on what it is, some of them we do inventory, but if it's a very common thing that you can find, you would probably be best just replenishing that from a local store, even Amazon. Depends what that object might be.
Perfect. Well, I don't see any other questions then at this time.
All right, well, thank you everyone for sitting in today and learning all about our different culinary kits. We hope that you will find some activities that you can try and maybe be able to try a few of our different kits to augment what you're already doing. Thank you very much.